To vote or not to vote, that is the question. All right, people, let's talk about voting. Is it the most exciting thing in the world? Not really. Does it sometimes feel like your single vote is lost in a sea of millions? Absolutely. But is it important? Now that's where things get interesting. There's a debate about whether voting makes a difference, especially when politicians seem self-interested. Some people think their vote doesn't matter. They see low turnout and wonder, what difference does one vote make? But others believe voting is the cornerstone of democracy. They argue every vote carries weight, shaping the future. Historical elections decided by a handful of votes prove your vote can be the ripple that creates a wave. So does your vote really matter? Let's dive in and find out. Let's break it down to basics. Democracy, at its core, is supposed to be about the people having a say in how they're governed. It's about giving power to the citizens, not just a select few. And how do we, the people, exercise that power? You guessed it, through voting. Think of it like this. Your vote is your voice in the political arena. It's your chance to weigh in on the issues that matter to you, to choose the leaders you believe will best represent your interests. It's about having a stake in the decisions that shape your community, your country, and even the world. Now, I know, the reality of democracy doesn't always live up to the ideal. Politicians can be corrupt, systems can be flawed, and sometimes it feels like the little guy doesn't stand a chance. But here's the thing, the very foundation of a healthy democracy rests on the active participation of its citizens. When people don't vote, it creates a vacuum. And you know what they say about nature and vacuums? They don't stay empty for long. Apathy allows those already in power to consolidate their grip, to make decisions without truly representing the will of the people. Now let's bring in a brainy dude named Joseph Schumpeter. Don't worry, I'll keep it simple. Schumpeter was an economist and political scientist who had some interesting ideas about democracy. He wasn't exactly a cheerleader for the whole power to the people thing. Schumpeter believed that the main function of elections in a democracy wasn't really about citizens making informed choices about policies or the common good. Instead, he saw it more like a competition between elites, a sort of political marketplace where different groups vied for power. According to Schumpeter, ordinary folks like you and me, we don't really have the time, energy, or knowledge to be deeply involved in the nitty-gritty of politics. So elections become less about us making informed choices and more about choosing which group of elites we trust, or perhaps distrust the least, to make decisions on our behalf. Depressing, right? But hold on, because Schumpeter's theory, while cynical, does raise an interesting point. If we buy into the idea that elections are just a power struggle between elites, then it's even more important that we, the people, make our voices heard.